Welcome to the Health and Happiness Show. As many of you know, I, Janet Hawkins, will be your host this evening. Being a doctor of naturopath, my goal is to share many holistic suggestions for you to keep your body into harmony and into balance and to enjoy each day. So here we are. We are going into a new season, and we're really at spring at its best right now. And I just wanted to suggest to you, keep an eye on your pets, because my little Minnie, my miniature Dachshund, we go for a walk about at least 5 days out of the week, and guess what? We found a tick. So, of course, I have had the Pet Shield tag, and I've used that for the last couple years, and I get a new one every year. And it's good for a year, and it's good for ticks, mosquitoes, all of the above. And it's a little tag that you put on, and Joanna will bring up a little picture of it. And you just put it on their collar, and it jingles along. And it has like vibrations, and so it's not toxic, and there's no side effects. If anything, it could be a little more calming for her. So, and it's good for a whole year. And yes, I do take her to a holistic vet. And I feel as though that's very important. So make sure whenever you are feeding your animals, you do not have any soy or corn, because the majority of those fillers are GMOs, genetically modified, and that is not good. So I'm just giving you some suggestions for that for our pets, because they're like our family with us as well. So, and then what we have to remember right now is that I just wanted to suggest to you, there are some things we have to do to keep our body into balance. And number one is good nutrition. So this is the perfect time to start planting. So as you can see right up here, I have my tomato plants. So you can put them outside on the deck, maybe by your front door, or a raised bed, or if you don't have room for a garden, those are different choices. So there's nothing nicer than I have my lettuce beds right here, which I got at Petiti's. And yes, I planted mine at home with the seeds as well, but guess what? The squirrels liked it as well, and they got in there and played in it. So I'm doing much better with the lettuce from there. But you can plant your tomatoes. There's nothing nicer than going out and picking your fresh lettuce, your tomato. I've got some parsley here as well. You know, you don't have to use a plant, but since we're doing the recording, this is for June, you know, it's time to get started. And also, we have to remember, this is going into a season change. We're just finishing up with spring. Now we're going into summer. Do you know what that means? We are exposed to toxins 24/7 from the food we eat, the air, and the water. So what we need to do, if you have not, maybe you have done a cleanse in the springtime. I always tell my clients, do a cleanse internally, at least every season change. So even if you've done one in the springtime, it's time to go into it and do it in the summertime. So what are your choices? Well, we have the environmental detox. The lady that I go to for my manicure, she was complaining she wasn't feeling well. So I muscle tested her on some environmental detox, which is a great product because it has burdock in it, which is going to go in and clean up your blood. It also has milk thistle, which is going to clean up the liver. And it also has echinacea, which is going to help your white blood count. And you take 1-3 times a day. But always remember, if you are on a prescription drug, do not take the medication with your supplements, maybe vitamin D, vitamin C, whatever. Always 1 hour apart. So just remember, there's an environmental detox, and then we have the Tahi cleanse as well. And this has 30 packets, and this is a little deeper because it has the liver formula, Chinese formula, and it also has psyllium hulls in it, and it goes in really, really deep. And it suggests that you do 2 packets twice a day. No, once is enough because we don't want to clean you too fast. So these are some ideas for you to consider doing a cleanse. Now, I also will be at the Hartfield Flea Market on Saturdays, majority of the time this summer. Now, I have a couple weddings at the end of first part of June and the end of May. So, you know, I will be there. outside under the pavilion on Saturdays only through September, and then that is it. So I just wanted to keep you posted on that. And I'll be doing the free iridology as well. Remember, that is where I go in and look in your irises, and I can tell you your strength and your weaknesses. And most of us are way, way too acidic, and that's where the chlorophyll comes in. And I'll have free samples of that as well. And that's going to go in, balance your pH. It's going to help clean you up. And if you tend to be anemic, it'll help you with that as well. So I just like to give you suggestions because you're your CEO of your body and you have to be in charge. So like I said, to keep our body healthy and in balance and in harmony, it's good nutrition. We talked about planting, maybe it'd be just some lettuce, maybe it would be some tomatoes, maybe some peppers, some cucumbers, whatever you have room for. It's not that difficult. Put it someplace where you see it every day so you know if it needs watered. You don't want it in direct sun all the time, but it does need some sun, because that's what I use with my lettuce. I put it on my deck, and I see it every day when I take the dog out. So good nutrition is so, so important, and then E is for exercise. If we don't move, we're going to lose, and you're going to feel so much better, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And then we need to manage our stress. Stress is a big, big issue. I'm seeing a lot of stress lines in our irises, and that indicates we're under a lot of stress. And I like Stress J, which has a little bit of passion flower and chamomile, but sometimes we have to go a little bit deeper, maybe go to skullcap, something of that sort. So everybody is different, and that's why we muscle test to see what is best for you. And of course, we need to sleep. So many, many people have difficulty sleeping. So magnesium will work excellent. And yes, there are 6 different types of magnesium. So I like the magnesium complex, which has a couple different types of the magnesium in it. Now just remember, if you take too much, it's going to relax the colon and you're going to get diarrhea and not be happy. So start out with maybe, say you weigh 120, 130, start out at 2 or 3 capsules. I personally take 4. It's fine for me, but everybody is different. Just remember, we're all unique creatures of God, okay? And then we also have to have a great attitude. Get up in the morning, be blessed and be thankful for the day and make the best of it and enjoy your day and get out there and exercise and enjoy the sunshine right now. So that's some little tidbits we have right now for the summer months getting started. Just remember, you don't have to take a high dose of vitamin D3 right now because we're out in the sunlight and we have sun, things of that sort. So I personally still take 4,000 because I'm type A blood. My immune system isn't as strong as type O. So that's why I do that. But basically 2,000 units is usually very good for a maintenance program. So we're very blessed this evening to have a guest with us, Dr. Jay Wilkins. Thank you for taking the time to be with us on your travels to Ohio.
Well, thank you, Dr. Janet. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Great. Yeah, and he is the founder of BioNox, and that is a great product. And we met a long time ago when I was out at the Naturopath Conference in Las Vegas, about 3 or 4 years ago. And it's an amazing product. So he is the guru. He is the, you formulated the product, everything, right?
Yeah, it really all started back in about 2005 when I first learned about nitric oxide and about arginine, and I was really blown away by the research, Nobel Prize-winning research from 1998.
Right.
And then listening to other practitioners and looking up the science, I was just really blown away by what it all had to do with. So I've been a naturopathic doctor and a nitric oxide enthusiast certainly since 2005.
Right, very good, very good. Because you had your own practice before for like 30 years, right?
So I practiced from 93 up until about 2005.
Okay.
And we had a massage therapist and we had other practitioners and different types of testing and did the biological terrain assessment as well, so well familiar with that. And after I learned about this nitric oxide and the arginine pathway and the screening that we're doing, non-invasive cardio screening, that was I was ready for a change.
Yes.
And so that was a really good timing for me to kind of venture into something away from the practice and getting out and doing more education, really.
Right, very good, very good. Do you use yourself as the lab rat?
Absolutely.
That's what I do too,
right?
yeah.
You have to.
Right,
so,
right.
yeah, I was from the get-go, I've been using it, so it's almost 20 years now since I've been using arginine-based nutrition, and I think it's something great to do. Even Dr. Ignaro, one of the Nobel Prize winners, said he recommends taking L-arginine every day. So it's something I've just been doing regularly.
Right. Now, what I normally do is I take 2 scoops once a day on an empty stomach and don't eat for an hour.
Yes.
Now, do you prefer that over 1 scoop twice a day?
So early on, yeah, we just, the main thing was like the 5 grams of arginine, right? That was the big thing. And that's where the research really shows 5 grams of arginine is a therapeutic amount. Citrulline works really well with it. At the time in 2005, we were doing like 200 milligrams. Now we found that 2,000 milligrams is better, creating this like a 2-to-1 ratio between the arginine and the citrulline. But then the other thing that we learned is rather than taking it all at one time, Dr. Rainier Boger, who's one of the leading researchers of arginine therapy, he said if you'll take half that amount of that 5,000 and 2,000 and take half of that in the morning and then say take another dose of that 12 hours later, you create like a 24-hour release of NO, and that's good. So now you're creating nitric oxide even while you're sleeping. So you're getting that recovery and good restorative sleep if you take it that way. Take one scoop twice a day is ideal. But if people can't do it, you know, so just take in the 2 scoops. That's the main thing.
That's what a lot of my clients do, but I usually give them the choice. But I thought I would ask you to go into it a little bit deeper. Is that what you do, 1 scoop twice a day?
So a lot of times I'll take even 4 scoops a day. So I'm a believer. So what I'll do is take like a water bottle like you've got there and fill it full of water. Take my daily doses, whether it's 2 scoops, 4 scoops, whatever, and I just sip it throughout the day so that I'm still getting that kind of a time release effect of the nitric oxide boost,
So say, for example, if I would take my 2 scoops, don't laugh, because I normally, if I get up to go to the bathroom, maybe at 3 or 4, I'll go out and make a little concoction, and I'll drink my 2 scoops. Then I'll go back to bed and get up at like 6:30, whatever. And then I could still put 2 scoops into this and drink it throughout the day.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's really interesting.
We have some people, if they test poorly with the technology that we work with, or if we know they've got cardiovascular issues, we've gone up to even 8 scoops a day. That's pretty rare. I mean, that's pretty extreme.
That's pretty high.
But regardless, that 4 scoops a day for a lot of people is a real good dosage.
Yeah, because what I tend to do, because you have the little cherry thingies here, the little beets, and sometimes I'll chew one of these in the afternoon for a pickup.
It's beautiful, right? So it says it's called beetroot energy, but there's no stimulants in it. It's just that nitric oxide boost that really somebody is getting. And they taste good. They're all naturally sweetened and flavored. And so with the Cardio Go product that you've got here, this one is the one that's the arginine pathway nutrition. It's what we consider BioNox's most therapeutic formula. So when somebody's really dealing with cardiovascular issues or whatever the health issue is, you know, doing the Cardio Go is what we recommend. But that's through the arginine citrulline pathway. The other pathway that's been discovered is the nitrate pathway. So that's where your beets and this beautiful lettuce you got going on up here that looks fantastic. I just want to kind of just jump into it and start eating it.
Make a salad, right?
Yeah, right? It's great. So when you consume high nitrate foods, then you chew those foods that have the nitrates in it, beets, arugula, spinach, kale, all this stuff you got here, and it interacts with the microbiome, and you convert those nitrates into nitrites. You swallow the nitrites, it hits your stomach acid, and then you make nitric oxide that way. So you got 2 different pathways to create nitric oxide. I believe in both of them. And in fact, sometimes one of them can become compromised. And if you'll boost both pathways, they actually help each other to work better as well. So that's why I came up with the beet lozenge. It took me a long time to find a beet extract that really had functional amounts of nitrates in it. A lot of the beet products on the market, they don't have nitrates. They may say good for circulation or good for nitric oxide boosting, but they could have very little or no nitrates at all in them, and that's no good. You're not going to get the benefits of the circulation without the nitrates.
Because I know many of my clients, if they run out of the nitrate oxide in the powder form, they start to panic because they can tell a difference. Their energy goes down.
Absolutely. No, it is one of those things. We hear a lot of those stories. Our practitioners that sell the product, like, you can't run out of this stuff. I got it's too important.
Right.
My patients are relying on this, so
yes.
you know, let's not run out of it. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some other benefits? It's basically cardiac, especially maybe, I know whenever I have clients come in, we will talk about genetics. So if they have cardiac issues in their family, and then depending upon doing the biological terrain assessment, if we see cardiac issues there, and that we will muscle test and see from there. Yeah. Because I personally like to use hawthorn as well, because that's food for your heart.
Absolutely.
You know, so I mix the two of those together quite a bit.
Yes, and this has got a little bit of hawthorn in it, but certainly if they got advanced issues, put more hawthorn is better, right, along with it. So, you know, the Nobel Prize of Medicine in 1998 was given to those 3 American doctors for discovering the nitric oxide pathway, and the Associated Press came out and said, you know, this is going to have good implications for cardiovascular benefits. Mm-hmm. Well, wasn't too long after that Pfizer took that information and said, well, let's see if we can make a blood pressure medication. And they did, and it didn't work very good for blood pressure. But the men in the study were like, well, it does work for something that you don't realize, and that was the beginning of the whole erectile dysfunction drug. So Pfizer is essentially, it was sort of a medical mistake, mm-hmm, but it opened up this new class of drugs, but it's all based on nitric oxide. Mm-hmm. So yes, when it comes to cardiovascular issues, that arginine, citrulline, blood pressure, atherosclerosis, enlarged heart, arrhythmia issues, congestive heart failure, it works and the science supports it. But come to find out, it does so much more. It's also your immune system uses it, your T cells, B cells, natural killer cells to disarm pathogens and the bad guys. Mm-hmm. Also, it's a precursor to all your hormones. So like on our medical advisory board, we have a cardiologist, and he says, when he routinely, because he does bioidentical hormones as well for his patients. Right. But he says that his patients that are using this, their needs for the hormones is a lot less than those individuals that he tests that are not boosting their nitric oxide. Also, your good, happy neurotransmitters, your serotonin, dopamine, acetylcholine, all that also stems from nitric oxide. Right. So they call it the miracle molecule for a reason. It just does so many different things in the body.
Things, exactly, yeah. Because some people will ask me, Janet, where do you get all your energy? Well, you know, I'm addicted to this. I will never give it up. Yeah. You know, and of course, you know, I take my CoQ10, of course, and things mm-hmm. of that sort for the nitrate oxide. But, you know, that's what we as doctors and naturopaths do, is we put a program together for you. You know, I mean, we can't just sit on the couch and watch the world go by. We got to be moving. And then the standard American diet is creating so many issues today. So that's why it's a great time to start planting outside.
Absolutely. You know. That's good for a lot of getting out in the soil and all that. That's good for a lot of things, right? Right.
So what are some other benefits? It basically helps you with energy and heart health for sure.
Right. So. So definitely any sort of cardio issues, you know you got nitric oxide issues, and so when you hit 40, you're making about 50% of the nitric oxide you did when you were 20. Okay. So like everything tends to wane, right, as we get older. Right. Each decade the NO levels drop, so you know, consecutively. So you know, by the time you get to 60, 70, you can be producing very little nitric oxide as compared to when you were in your 20s. So, you know, that's very important to boost the NO. Yeah, energy is number one. So when people ask, well, what is this going to do? What can I expect? Mm-hmm. Number one, what people say is their energy is better. They have more clarity, more focus, and also it helps with their sleep patterns. A lot of them, so they sleep better. Arginine is a precursor to human growth hormone, so that should be high in the evenings when you're sleeping. It helps for recovery. So those are the two things they notice right away. But again, if somebody's 40, 50, 60 years old, there could be any number of symptoms they might have, but nitric oxide has shown to be anti-inflammatory.
Which is great.
Yep.
I'm seeing a lot of that today.
Absolutely.
A lot.
It is neurotropic in the fact that it supports blood flow to the brain, which is critical. All your diabetic and blood sugar issues, arginine again is a precursor to insulin production, and nitric oxide helps the cells to become more sensitive to the body's insulin. So those are two issues that diabetics tend to run into. In fact, are one of the most respected doctors that I've ever met. Early on in 2005, he was a diabetic specialist. His name was Dr. Prendergast. He was out in the Bay Area of San Francisco, had his own atherosclerotic plaque that was growing in his 30s. He saw it in his 30s. He started taking arginine in his 50s for about 10 years, and now in his 60s, he went back to the same person that took his abdominal CAT scan in his 30s that saw the plaquing, and it was completely gone. So he had reversed his own plaquing using arginine. Yeah. Then he started saying, hey, this is my diabetic patients need this because 75% of them are statistically are going to die of a heart attack or stroke. He was already sending 250 patients a year to cardiologists, and so about 30% of his patient base. And then after implementing arginine into his practice, he was sending like one per year. So he had 3 cardiologists that he was referring to, and they were like, why is Dr. Prendergast not sending his patients anymore? And so the 3 of them got together, they invited him out to lunch, and Dr. Prendergast talked about all about this nitric oxide pathway and arginine, and they could care less. They were in it for the big dollar surgeries. They wanted him to refer those guys back to him, and he didn't need to refer to them anymore. So 2 of them actually closed their practice, and then one moved from California to Atlanta, evidently. But anyway, it completely revolutionized his diabetic practice by using arginine-based nutrition with his patients. That's
very interesting because, like I told you, I have a difficult client coming in on Tuesday with a pacemaker, defibrillator. So, you know, I mean, that was my quiet thought when I was setting up his appointment.
Right.
You know.
No doubt.
That and Hawthorne for sure, you know.
No doubt.
So I'm very excited, and plus he's a diabetic.
Okay.
So there you are.
Yeah.
And then started kidney disease as well. So I mean, sure, once we clean him up, get him started on this, and balance his pH, it might take a while. I mean, because he is 60, so he's kind of have age in his favor rather than 70, 75.
True.
You know, so the thing is, you really have to emphasize not to take this with their medications, correct?
Yeah, it's they can take it while they're on a medical program,
right?
But it's best to take it during their daily regimen apart from medications. So if they're on blood pressure medications, because obviously their blood pressure is high, they start taking something like this, and this helps their body to normalize, right? We're not giving them nitric oxide, we're helping them make their own.
Right.
So now they're getting healthy, they're producing more nitric oxide on their own, their blood pressure is normalizing on its own, so the need for the medication is going to go down, or perhaps they don't need it at all. So if they're taking blood pressure meds, monitor that. At some point, they might be able to go back to their doctor. And
because I always tell them to keep a chart, a journal of what your blood pressure is reading, because you may be able to get off of the medication, and then you can go back and talk to your doctor, or we can walk you through that, because you don't go cold turkey and just quit. In my opinion. You gradually wean yourself off of it. But it's just an amazing product. I am just, thank goodness I met you, because I do understand this is in a capsule form as well, correct?
It is in a capsule form. We made that so that people could have a little more flexibility with how they took it, or if they were wanting something that didn't necessarily have a flavor. They taste great, as you know, but if for whatever reason they didn't want to mess with the powder, they could take capsules. However, to get the full therapeutic amounts of the 2 scoops in this, they have to take 12 capsules a day.
Wow.
So they have to take quite a bit, and they may not want to do that either. But then we have a kind of a subset of individuals that are younger, and they're like, you know what, I don't think I need 2 scoops a day, and they may not, but they like the effects of boosting their NO. They like taking it before they work out, or they like it, even maybe before a test or something where they're trying to get everything focused better.
Right.
So they might just want to take 4 capsules, and not the big amounts that's already in here, but just some to get a nice boost. So there's a little more flexibility with the capsules.
Yeah, well, I think what I'll do is I'm going to use myself as a lab rat, and rather than taking this 2 scoops at one time, I'm going to try to do 1 scoop morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then mix up in my little water bottle.
I love it. I'm all for it. I think
it's try that, and then I can also share that with the clients on the feedback in the next 6 weeks and let you know. I mean, I'm in tune to my body. Some people don't listen to their body.
Right.
But I've always been able to feel different things, I mean, the first time I took olive leaf, I went, whoa, I couldn't believe it. But of course, I like that in the liquid form as well. I think it's much more therapeutic than just in the capsule form. But that's the same way with the powder here. I think it's much more.
It is. Even the physician's desk reference says that a liquid, as compared to a pill or a capsule, you got 95%, potentially 95% more absorption with a liquid.
Right.
So you take the powder, mix it up, essentially now you got a liquid. We also add ingredients in there, natural ingredients that enhance absorption. It's called estrogen.
Oh, really?
It's a proprietary blend of a ginseng and astragalus.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be very good. Absolutely.
And it's been proven, they've actually documented that it increases transporter cells which latch on to nutrients and pull them into your bloodstream. And so you get about a 67% boost in absorption by adding the estrogen to the complex.
Nice.
So that way, it's not just what you eat, but what you absorb, right?
Right. Now, do you find if you take this before you go to bed, it's going to help you sleep or it's going to keep you awake?
So
that was my concern.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So majority of the individuals that take it, they can take it before they go to bed and they sleep great.
Okay.
But we do have some individuals that they take it before they go to bed and they want to clean the house, or so that's not typically what they want to do. So we do have a small percentage of people that they can't take it in the evening. But what I tell people, why don't you just try it?
Well, yeah, exactly, and see what works for you.
Right. And
we're all different.
Right, and if it makes you want to clean the house or do something crazy with your energy that you get in the evening, well, that it's not the right time for you.
Right. And you have different flavors as well. We have the citrus and we have the berry.
And grape. So,
grape, that's right, I forgot.
Yeah, so we started with the berry back in 2013. We had this is all BioNox was just this formula. Had a lot of practitioners that wanted to get on board with us as well. And that's good, but actually have people that from 2005, for my recommendation of the product I was using at that time, they're using this now, but they've been using, so that's 20 years.
Right.
So we wanted to create a variety of flavors, right? So that they're just not stuck having to take one flavor. So they all taste very good. They're all naturally sweetened and flavored. So that part is really just a personal preference. The active ingredients are all the same.
Yeah, I kind of flip around. I'll do the berry, and then maybe I'll do the citrus, or whatever I have extra on is what I'll use.
Right.
They're both very, 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 very good.
Yeah.
And then I think it's so important for you to remember not to mix this with the chemical cocktail coming out of your faucet. Correct?
I'm all for that, for sure.
All right. I'm very blessed. I have the Kangen water machine. Are you familiar with that?
I am, yeah.
And that's what I use, and it's all 9.5 water, although I have a couple clients that can only use the 8.5. It's just a few. And I use that all the time to mix mine with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. You got a much higher level water system there, but at the very least, let's make sure the water's clean, right?
Exactly. So if you even have to get bottled water or the alkaline water, whatever, so if you do get the water in plastic, just don't let it in the sun, because it can give off some chemicals as well, and that's not good from the plastic. So I'm just telling you that, okay? So I think that's something important to remember, because we tend to forget that, you know, whenever the water goes back, if you have city water, like I have well water, I still don't trust it because I have industry all around me. So who knows? I just don't know. Right. So that's why I invested in it a long time ago. And plus, majority of my clients that I see are too acidic. So when they come in, they get their water with a chlorophyll in it for them to refresh and to have a taste and introduction to the holistic field. So there you go.
That's good. Yeah, so, it's important to have clean water.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it's amazing, but I think things are going to change around a little bit with Kennedy on the health board now. So, you know, I know they're trying to work on no dyes in our food. So it's one slow step at a time. And I know when we went to Europe in the 90s, I couldn't believe how different the food was over in Europe, in Switzerland, Serbia, all of those. We had rented a car and went on a 10-day trip.
That's my understanding, yeah.
Yeah, so.
The flour is different there, right, as far as the gluten issues and all that?
Right, exactly, yeah. And that's another thing. If you're still having allergies, I use the seasonal allergies, which has horseradish, fennel, and mullein in it. And I take 4 of these. I've been taking 4 twice a day because it's been really bad. You know, but now we're going into June. I think it'll calm down a little bit now as well. So, you know, just thought I'd bring that up. I forgot to mention that earlier. So, now, do you find a lot of your athletes are taking this as well?
Yes, and in fact, we just talked to a gentleman today that he's an advocate of these types of nutrients for pre-workout and for workout. And what he appreciates about the Cardio Go is that it's a clean formula. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those, they have artificial crap in it, you know. Excuse me, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
No, it's okay because you have to be so careful on where you're buying it from and the quality control. And I mean, it's just unbelievable today.
It is. So it doesn't have the aspartames and the saccharins and the artificial sucralose and all that. Doesn't have the artificial colors. So yeah, those ingredients in there have been very well researched for stamina, endurance, lean muscle mass, recovery, all that. All the things that you want as an athlete. We actually have a young lady that she is an Olympic sprinter, and she trained on this. So I have a fellow out in California that trains these sprinters from high school to college, through their college years. And she trained with this product. So whenever she trained, she drank this again for the focus, the stamina, the recovery. You know, they're dealing with acid in their muscles from working out, and this would help to alleviate a lot of that. So it's excellent formula for athletes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm learning a lot just having the show with you, because I'm thinking I have one client that is a coach for the high school here in the area, and he has some blood sugar issues, and I'm going to give him a call and say, you know, we need to reevaluate, and because African American, diabetes, cardiac runs in his family. So I think we need to get him on that. I didn't realize that it was going to help so much with the blood sugar issue as well.
Absolutely, yep. And sometimes that can take a little time on the blood sugar. Tell them not to get too concerned if at times they check it while they're initially starting, their blood sugar may spike, but it's just adjusting.
It takes time.
Yeah, the body's adjusting to all this, and then if they stick with it, that balances out, but it can look kind of wonky to begin with. Just like cholesterol, we tell people don't check your cholesterol for 6 months after taking this, because what's the body doing? Because people will go after getting on this and their cholesterol will be high. But why? It's because the body's throwing the cholesterol out of the arteries and into the bloodstream, and so their blood cholesterol levels can look high. And you know, wait the 6 months. We've had time to get this in your system, and you've had an opportunity to start releasing some of the cholesterol that's accumulating in the blood vessels, and you know, it'll usually will look real good then.
Well, basically, it sounds like it's something that should be a basic in any supplement program, just like your vitamin D. That is good for your heart, for your immune system, the bones, all of the above. And this is just covers everything, the blood sugar, the kidneys, because I'm thinking as we're doing the show, I have another client that is having some kidney issues, severe. And I started her on KID. I don't know if you're familiar with Pure Herbs or not.
No.
That is a company out of Michigan that has nothing but liquid herbs.
Okay.
And I prefer to use the liquids when I need
Me
to.
too, yes.
Yeah. And so I think I'm going to give her a call and say, hey, let's give this a shot too,
Yeah.
and see how this works.
Yeah, there's so many things that either known or unknown with regards to cardiovascular issues. They may not really know that they're having circulatory issues, you know, to their kidneys or to wherever, spleen, thyroid, adrenals, whatever. If your circulation is compromised, then you are restricting your ability to get nutrients and blood and oxygen to those areas.
Yes.
So it can be a great adjunct and tool to a lot of programs that you might use because it's facilitating circulation along with the other things that you might be working on with them.
Well, it's like I always share this with my clients. It's no different than a car. You fine-tune the car, you fine-tune the body. It's going to run smoother, and you're going to have much better mileage.
That's right.
So it's up to you to be in charge and decide if you want to give it a go. I like the fact that it's going to support the whole system, the circulatory. I mean, because think about it, with the aging process, especially by the time, because I mostly see my clients come from the age of 40 on up, usually 50 and up, you know. But I love it whenever the parents bring their kids in, you know. They might be a teenager, whatever. But at least we're planting the seed and presenting a foundation to get them started in the correct direction.
Yeah, that's really important, isn't it? And I find the same thing, that children that grow up around what we do, you know, that they stick with it. Our daughter, you know, that's our go-to. Yeah, her husband, same thing, her son-in-law. And, you know, it's good to see that they have a respect and appreciation for these things that get to root cause issues. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and don't get me wrong, because my own brother is a medical doctor, but he's not very open-minded. But I have my godfather, he is a doctor, and he's very open-minded. It's too bad we can't blend the two together.
Right.
The Eastern and the Western.
Right.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's moving that way. I
mean, it's slowly.
Imagine from when you first got started compared to where we're at today, and the amount of, you know, to me, I think about Dr. Whitaker, right?
Right.
He was like a unique in his field,
right, as
a medical doctor that talked anything about vitamins. But now look at how many medical doctors will promote natural things and supplements.
Actually, I go to a Dr. Sonny. He's in Medina, and he's a medical doctor, but he has Balance of Life Clinic. And it's funny because we were talking, and he said, I'm not getting a lot of good results with the nitrate oxide. I said, well, what are you using? He was using capsules. I said, you need to go to the powder. So I gave him the information. So I don't know if he's moved forward yet or not.
Okay.
I haven't talked to him for a while.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
that's good.
I mean,
you're helping him.
Yeah. So, and I've got to share it with my friend, LaDonna France. Does that ring a bell?
It does. I'm not sure how, but it somehow
well, she has a clinic in Indiana.
Okay.
And I've known her for a long time. Actually, we met in Nature Sunshine at a conference.
Okay.
And we still keep in contact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
She's a very busy lady as well.
Yeah, we probably both know Wilma Fend, I imagine. Or I don't know if you knew Wilma. She was in Indiana in,
no.
I can't think of the town
ring
now.
a bell.
Okay, she was Nature Sunshine.
Okay.
And been in it for years and years. Mm-hmm. She passed away, I think, just a couple of years ago. You know, she had a lot of, pretty old, you know, but been in it a long time.
Right, right,
so I thought maybe you might have known her.
Yeah, so, but I like the fact that even if you don't have the energy to exercise, this might be a place to start, because that would bring up your energy and give you a little bit more energy to get out there and move and, you know, see progress. It's just an idea.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't know what something's going to do until you consume it, and you know, we're working with people that have either very severe health issues, but also to those that are just wanting to fine tune what they're doing. They want to have more energy to play with their grandkids, or they're wanting to be able to hit more reps if they work out or whatever it is.
Right, be a better golfer or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
well, I haven't helped my golf game yet, but but it, you know, that's our goal, is to really, wherever people are at with their health and their journey, put this into your program, and it no doubt will help you to have, you know, achieve better health.
Right, and what have you, what do you observe with as far as working with high blood pressure?
Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing that caught my attention, is that, you know, some of the people that were coming into my office, they were on 4 medications and still couldn't get it down, right? So then when we would add this, it was a game changer. And so I've not seen anything nutrient-wise that helped with blood pressure like these nutrients in the cardio go. So now, that being said, it may take a little bit of time, but usually, I mean, nitric oxide, what it does initially is it relaxes the blood vessel. It's a gas. Nitric oxide is, you make it, and the first thing it does, it's a vasodilator, so it relaxes the blood pressure in the blood vessel. So naturally, normally, blood pressure will start to respond. Now, if they've got pretty advanced plaquing, that could be the cause of their high blood pressure. So obviously that's not going to be something that responds overnight, but it will over time.
Over time,
yep.
Exactly.
So if they'll stick with it, they will no doubt see the benefits of it.
Very good, very good. So, because I know a lot of people have high blood pressure, like you said. They come in with 2 or 3 drugs, and there's always a diuretic in it as well, and that's why I really emphasize to them not to take any supplement. I don't care if it's a nitrate oxide, whatever, because if there's a diuretic in it, it's going to pull it right out if you take them together. So that's so important that you remember that.
True. Yeah, that is true. That depletes the body of the nutrients.
Right. And then, you know, I feel as though magnesium is very important as well, because that goes in and relaxes your body. Because I feel as though, are you seeing a lot of people that are stressed out today?
Yeah, that's usually the number, you know, on their symptom survey or the intake form. That's one of the big ones, right? Is stress, for sure. They are. And because of that, that's why nutrition and supplements is so important. So first of all, as you're very well aware of, the soil's depleted already.
Yes.
So even if you eat healthy, it doesn't have the nutrients in it that it used to have.
Right.
So we're more stressed, we're more needing nutrition, and we're getting less.
Right.
And then, so we're in a position where supplementation is just critical.
Right,
we just
it's very
have
important.
to do it. And magnesium is the number one.
Well, yeah, because 70 to 80% of the population is very deficient in magnesium. And a couple months ago, I had Cindy Petiti on, and she owns an organic greenhouse. And she was talking about how we feed our soil. So I think it's important to have organic, good soil in your pots. That would help as well, you know. And, you know, because we need good soil to feed the plant, so it's going to give you good nutrients as well.
100%.
And plus, it's not in a truck for a week, 10 days getting to you. So you can go out and pick your own as much as you can, you know. So I just think it's so important to cook, you know where your food is coming from. Because I'm really, how do I say it nicely? I'm very particular about my food, because we have an organic pizza shop near us, so I will go there. And I know I've helped the ladies make cabbage rolls at my church, and they ordered a pizza, and I went, oh, it was kabump, you know, whatever.
Right.
But I have a very sensitive digestive system.
Yeah.
So, but I can eat the organic pizza, have no problem.
Yeah, I saw that show. That was a good show.
Oh, thank you.
With your guests on there, yeah.
Good, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, very, very interesting. So is there we have a couple minutes left, about another 10. Is there anything else we should do? It's going to help with the respiratory, it's going to help with the brain, it's going to help with basically cardiac, just, you know, especially if you have cardiac issues in your family, like especially myself. My father died of heart disease, my grandfather died of heart disease, my uncle died of heart disease. So I'm really into cardiac as well, you know, even though it concerns me for my sons, because genetically it could be passed on to them as well.
100%, and it shouldn't be overlooked. You know, genetics, we all have a weak link.
Yes.
Right, and so then it's a matter of really supporting and bolstering whatever that weak link is. So I have cardiovascular issues, runs very strong on both sides of my family as well. So it's something that you really got to pay attention to. So genetics is very important. The other thing I might just add, this has come up a lot in the conversations that I've been having since I've kind of been touring a little bit here in Ohio to different locations that are carrying our product. But the cholesterol thing, you know, a lot of people are like, well, does this help with cholesterol? And the answer is yes, it does help to balance and to create healthy cholesterol levels. But as we know, high cholesterol is not a disease. People may have different cholesterol levels, but the pure fact is there's people out there that have 300 cholesterol that have 0 plaquing. There's people out there with 150 cholesterol that are all plaqued up. So that idea of a marker, cholesterol, for cardiovascular disease is not a very good marker. So there's much better things to do to really find out. Even there's blood tests out there that look for things that are much more, they're better indicators of cardiovascular issues. And so we use a little technology called Smart Pulse that does a little test on the arteries to show what stage somebody might be at. But the main thing is that your arteries are clean. So why is it somebody would be concerned about their cholesterol? Well, it's because their doctor told them that you have high cholesterol, you're at a greater risk for cardiovascular, right? So the main thing is let's keep the arteries clean. The cholesterol can go one way or another. Main thing is let's keep the arteries cleaned, and that's what nitric oxide does. Keeps those arteries like Teflon, nice and smooth. Not that we believe in Teflon, but
no, we don't.
But the word picture is good, right?
Right,
Everything's smooth, slides through, and when the arteries become diseased, they become more like Velcro, where everything sticks to it, and that's not a good thing. So very, very critical. The other thing I might just add is we want to do what we can to release heavy metals, because lead and cadmium very much jam up the nitric oxide pathway by causing issues with the nitric oxide synthase enzyme that needs zinc to be able to work properly. But cadmium and lead mimic zinc, and they can get into those receptors to where nitric oxide has a problem being created.
Because I'm seeing a lot of people that have heavy metals today, more and more and more.
Yes.
And I know I had, for a long time, had done chelation for heavy metals.
Right.
But I use the Pure Body spray, and I can track it through the saliva and urine.
Good.
And as long as I do the spray, I'm good. If I get lazy, I can tell the difference, you know.
Right.
So
very important.
That.
No, it's a causative issue, and we're bombarded with metals, and so it's very important to give consideration to that and, you know, detoxify what's in your body.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's so important. Now, I like the fact too that you said it's going to help with inflammation issues possibly as well. So, because I have some people that are really having a lot of issues with mobility.
Right.
So it can be a positive for them as well.
There is, yeah. I was, you know, when I first got started in this in 2005, as mentioned with this whole nitric oxide deal, we were putting people on the product because of cardiovascular type things, but they'd come back and they'd say, you know what, I'm not needing to take my pain medication anymore. I said, they'd ask, is there any correlation? And at the time I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like that would stand to reason. So I did the research on it, and sure enough, it does help for inflammation. And morphine actually works off nitric oxide. So on the nerve endings, and if you've ever taken morphine, you know how amazing it is. I mean, you're in pain with excruciating issues, whatever it might be. You take morphine, it goes away. It's like, this is incredible. But it works off of nitric oxide, off the nerve endings, and it creates, which causes the pain signal. So yeah, pain and inflammation, another benefit of good nitric oxide.
Well, and the thing is, I'm going to change a few things myself. I'm going to try to do 1 scoop in the morning, 1 later in the afternoon, and then possibly 2 scoops in the water bottle or 1 scoop?
Yeah, either of those. So you're getting your 2 in there, so that's, you got your baseline. Okay. And so, like I said, what I do is I take 4 scoops, put it in the water bottle, try to have about half of it drunk, you know, somewhere about by whatever 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then drink the other half throughout the evening.
Right, but isn't it good not to take it with a meal?
Correct.
And best on an empty stomach?
Correct. 20 minutes minimum.
Okay.
Before or after.
Okay, okay, well, that's good to know.
Hour probably ideal, but at least 20 minutes.
Okay, 20, okay, good. Because I'm trying to figure out how I can work out my schedule here.
Right, I see that, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
You have to think all that stuff through.
Okay, so you put 4 scoops in that and drink it throughout the day?
Throughout the day, yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, so what do? Do you have your breakfast first?
Well, a lot of times I'm not a real good breakfast person.
Okay, all right.
So I tend to, will do that, then in the morning start with that, really.
Okay.
A little black coffee and then hit that, start hitting that.
It's all right, it's okay.
And then throughout the day, just take it through between meals.
Okay, okay, good. That's good to know because I'm like a yogurt and the fruit and the banana person in the morning.
Good.
I mean, not heavy.
Right.
Just light, you know.
Right.
But I'm going to try that 4 scoops and see what happens.
I think you should.
You know.
And let me know.
And then that's all you do is 4 scoops the whole day?
Yep.
I'm going to try that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try it and see. It should, you know, I mean, I'm pretty good. I mean, I've been having a little bit of joint issues.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see if that may help with that as well.
Yep.
You know, but I mean, it doesn't hurt me though because I'm still working out at the gym.
Right.
And that does seem to help a lot.
Right.
So
it's not slowing you down, is it?
No, not much at all. No, no.
I can see
I'm
that.
always on the go.
That's awesome.
Always, always, always. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to wrap up with. I mean, it's best to take at least 20 minutes from a meal and then wait at least 20 minutes afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, and there's, you know, if for some reason when your clients comes back and say, I don't think this has worked, you know, we'll reimburse you. You can feel free to give them their money back, and we'll reimburse you product, and we stand behind what we do.
Right.
We believe
I
in it.
haven't had one person that said it didn't work.
We don't have it very often. We really don't.
No, I haven't had that. Now, we talked about if you've watched a show to give you a 20% off of the
awesome.
price. So if you've watched a show and you want to give it a try, we'll give you 20% off on your first order.
Great.
And then, you know, we have different choices. Like I said, you can take 1 scoop twice a day, or you can put it in 4 scoops, 2 scoops. Usually we start out with maybe 2 scoops a day and take it 1 step at a time and the feedback and see how it works. Because I know I do a lot of holistic psychic shows, and I do those for marketing as I don't have a storefront. And I'm going to Warren on May 4th, and she'll send me a text, Janet, bring me 2 of these. And so it really has helped her a lot.
That's great.
So I may tell her even try maybe 3 scoops and see how that'll work.
Sure.
You know, if she wants a little more improvement in her energy and her mobility as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I love this. You got people having the great results with them. That's fantastic.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm so faithful. I mean, I travel. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and it goes in my suitcase.
Wow.
And the scoop's right in there with me.
Good. That's awesome. That's
so,
great.
I mean, because, does it come in little packets?
We did have packets, and we will be bringing packets back at some time.
Okay, so that would be nice for traveling.
For travel, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And for now, you know, in the meantime, the capsules could be an option for travel, just to keep that in mind as well. But the powder's the best.
I like the powder the best. Well, thank you, Dr. J, for taking time to be with us. I mean, I know you're busy traveling around to the different health food stores and sharing. And if you have any questions, give us a call, and we'll do our best. And I have plenty in stock as well. Okay?
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Janet.
Thank you, and safe travels, and be well. And when you're back again, let me know.
I will.
Okay?
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here.
You got it.
All right. Be well, enjoy summer, and be thankful for your many blessings. There we go.
watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.